episode on haul out of BioTrek, we talked about the first steps of winterizing the boat. So we winterized the Watermaker, the port and starboard engines, and also the Fisher Penta generator. We flushed the outboard engine and removed it and put it in the sail locker. In this video, I'm going to talk about the remaining steps to winterize BioTrek. It was actually much longer to do than we thought. But that's because it was the first time of winterizing this boat, and every boat is different. So when we returned to the boat to winterize it, the wrapper had already been there, and the boat was shrink wrapped already, which made it nice and cozy inside. The first thing we did is that we emptied the port water tanks completely until they needed to be primed, and then put in about 7 gallons of antifreeze. Once the antifreeze in, then just open the taps one at a time, starting with the one that's closest to the tank.
So first we start with the sink, because Pierre has to prime it from the engine room. Then we did the shower, the drain, the toilet. Next, the washing machine.
The washing machine was a little bit more difficult because there was no way to just put a little bit of water through, but we had to let it go through pretty much the full rinse and spin cycle.
There's just no more space. You know, they put all these pipes on,
So
and then
it's not because of the one hand, it's just because there's no space?
And then they install the tank after the fact. So now you try to remove the pipes and you can't, because there's not enough space between there and the wall.
Well, we can see the cold water is all pink.
If I remove those two straps, I could move the tank that way. And then I'd have space to undo the pipes.
And if we remove that one, it's only halfway. It'll drain halfway.
No, this is glycol. It's the engine warming system.
Oh, that one is?
The yellow, black yellow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming from the engine. It's a heat exchanger.
Oh, but is that something else that we need to?
No, this is all
winterize?
glycol. We don't have to worry about that. So I'm thinking maybe I should just loosen those two, this one and this one, and then move the tank this way a bit. Hot water tank is a very large quantity that would technically need to be all filled up with glycol before we can flush the hot water side of the boat. I've just disconnected the cold water into the hot water tank, disconnected the hot water out of the hot water tank, draining the hot water tank into the belt right now, which will be pumped overboard. And then I just connected those two pipes together now.
And so are we going to just drain the hot water tank and leave it without glycol, or do we have to put glycol in it?
I will simple glycol once I'm done.
Because if there's no water, what's the danger?
Well, there's always water in it. There's like an inch. To come back with the hot water now, we can go in and open taps on both cold and warm, and the whole thing is going to get flushed with glycol. You want to come and see yourself?
Okay, so that's the bilge pump going off?
Yeah.
Okay, now change it. Yeah. Oh. Good.
I also have to open the valve for the crew cabin in the front, which are closed because it's leaking. Remember? Douche cabin skipper, so I'll open this up. Desalinateur is open, that's fine. Is it fine? And desalinateur from the desal to here should be glycol. There's water going to the desalinateur, so we should do that also. Desalinator, we should go over there and just open the valve, let it run for a bit.
So the question is, how to get into the forward cabin. So we're gonna have to use this escape hatch. So now I'm removing all the cushions from here and putting them somewhere else.
So when we plug shore water, like duck water in here, there's a one-way valve here. So if we plug shore water and the shore water pressure is higher than the boat pressure, then whenever somebody asks for water on the boat, the water is going to be coming from here, which goes directly to the Clarinet, as you saw. So, and that pressurizes the whole boat, but it doesn't do anything with the water tanks. And we have clear water going from here to the Clarinet, and we need to change that to glycol.
I mean, if we get the one-way valve open, then we just have to use my turkey baster to push the glycol through, right?
Or we can just unplug the tube downstairs. The other option is to go in the back and disconnect that tube here. There are three tubes going up. There's one red, two blues. One blue there and one blue there. And they all go to the front, to the Clarinet, the three of them. So we need to disconnect the blue tube going to this. And this way, it's easy to drain and just blow in it, and we're done. So you want to go down and have a look here?
How do you think the sailor does with one hand?
I have no idea.
What? That I was right?
Yes, you were right. It's a one-way valve, Lisa. So things could get a lot simpler.
That's it. So we just connect to the other side.
You'll have to go down and turn off the pump again. And I'll disconnect the one-way valve, and this way, and give me the bucket, and this way we'll get glycol coming from the Clarinet up to here.
Okay. Did you get the pipe removed?
No, I can't.
Here's my turkey baster idea. I have a silicone funnel, which is acting like a flange, so I don't lose all the liquid. I fill up, it's actually not a turkey baster, that's what I use it for. It's a 60 ml syringe. Fill it up with glycol and push it in. And when I put it in there and push it really hard, I can feel it going through the one-way valve. And it took like a third of a bucket to fill up that one tube. The breath from pushing, because I had to push on the syringe so hard.
You did a very good job.
So you just want to connect that back again?
Yeah.
So that it's ready to go in the spring, or
if you
what?
could just give me a hand here, Lisa, for 2 minutes.
Okay. Carrie, you just said the words that worry me. This should be simple.
No, I said we've been bad lucky so far. Three are jobs. So from now on, that should be easy. It should go
That's
up
not how it works.
without an itch.
Bad luck comes at threes.
Oh, okay, now we've had 3. That's it.
So you connected the hot water to the cold water.
Yeah, without going to the hot
we could
water
do
tank.
all the hot water, which we've now done.
That's it.
So the only thing left is the hot water tank.
To connect it back.
Wait a minute.
Now that it's empty.
Oh, you're just going to leave it empty and we're not putting glycol in it?
No, it's empty now. Is it? Well, almost empty. There's probably maybe a gallon of water left in the bottom here.
So
maybe 2 gallons.
do we need to do anything to it?
Yes, we're going to connect the cold and the hot water back into the hot water tank, and then we're going to push maybe 3 or 4 gallons of glycol in it for the winter.
From the cold water?
Yeah, from the cold water.
So it's just doing those quick connects.
Yeah, that's it.
And they go where?
The red goes to the red, and the blue goes to the blue.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So what are we doing next?
Okay, air conditioning. And then over in this compartment, we have the saltwater pump for that wallet. And the reason why it's high on my list is because we have to go from here all the way there, which is a long distance, which is full of salt water right now. So we have to fill that up with glycol. Okay, air conditioning. You see that pump there? So that's one through hall with a small filter that pulls the solid seawater into that pump, and that pump feeds 3 different air conditioning.
Okay.
And so what we have to do now is fill all of that up with glycol.
We just pour it in the tube there?
No, we have to run the pump.
But to pour it in the tube and run the pump?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound that difficult.
It's gonna be difficult will be to keep up with the pump.
Well, that's like when I did the engines down.
Yeah, we'll have to start and stop the pump because we won't be able to feed it fast enough.
Yeah, I will. So we're ready with the homemade funnel.
Yes.
We're ready to see if glycol comes out.
Yes.
We're ready to turn off the pump. We've got the AC panel open that's under the nav station.
Yes.
And you're going to do that, and I'm going to pour the glycol in.
And
okay.
check for glycol coming out.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. There we go. So we're still working on the air conditioning. We always verify that the pink stuff comes out. Kill her. It's coming out of here, but there wasn't enough coming out here. All right, bigger head, and still water and not pink coming from here. We've gone through 3, and there's not as much pink outside as we'd like by the 2 other drains. And the funnel didn't work all that well because you couldn't really see what you're doing, so we took it out and just poured it straight in. No, don't lift your hand up. Yeah, is it because it's glued on?
Yes, it's just you put it on.
You know.
So you think more came out of this?
More came out here and it's pink.
Over there.
Nothing came out there. I see a big drop. It's pink. That looks the same. So we don't have a lot that came out. It seems to have mostly come out of this one where it didn't come out before.
But if it's all pink, I'm like...
It's pink. It's dilute pink. Let's do the next one. We could redo this again if we have any left, but I don't think we're going to have any left.
Next time we come down in a week from now, we can always put more glycol in it.
Back I go? Outside to look again? This looks good. It's pink. Which one? No, it's not pink there. It's just, there's no pink. It's just water. So just putting the cloth, Pierre, just putting the cloth in worked perfectly well.
We're happy with the air conditioning now, are we?
Yes, and you could put the filter in the sink just so we don't forget it in the spring.
So what I will do now, I'll put it back in. Salt water, when we use salt water in the toilet, because the toilet has a valve to use fresh water or salt water. When we use salt water, it picks up its water from here. There's a through hole, and there's a pump back there. Okay. Filter. So that's it. So I'm going to disconnect this hose from the through hole and put it in the bucket, and then you'll just flush the toilet until you see pink coming out, and then we're done.
Okay, so I turned the salt water pump on, and you said it's only going to go on
when you put the flush in the toilet.
When I push flush on the toilet. So do you want me to flush now?
Yep.
All right.
Make sure the valve is filled with salt water.
Oh. Make sure the valve is switched to salt water. And that's, I think, in here. Yeah, Outremer. Okay, it's switched to Outremer. Okay, and now flush the toilet.
Actually, don't flush, you just push on the other one just at fill.
Fill?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell because the toilet's so pink. I'm going to flush it.
Okay.
Okay. It's not pink. Okay, it's pink now. That was the easiest job yet. All the other ones took at least an hour. This one only took like 10 minutes. Easiest job yet. All right, and so we have one more of these to do and then we're done.
That's it.
Okay. So the last side is here. And everything's in the same place. So that makes it easy. And I just switched it to salt. Okay, Pierre. The other side's ready. It's on salt already. Just have to take the pipe off.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you didn't need the heat gun.
No. Okay. Because it's the wrong thread end for this pipe, which is the same thing Outremer has been doing on all of their plumbing. It's always the wrong one for the pipe that they have. That's why there's so many leaks on the boat.
Let's see the wrong one.
I should change all of those. This should be one size bigger to fit right in the pipe so that you need a heat gun to put it in.
Right.
Then you don't have to worry about it anymore. But right now this is too small. They put a pipe which is too big over this, and then as soon as there's anything at all, it starts leaking. Any issues?
All right, so the saltwater pump's already on.
Yeah.
And I have to get over here
Hold on a second.
to be able to push the toilet. And I'm going to flush it so that I can see what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
We got it.
That's it. So finish it and we'll be done. Okay.
You don't need the heat gun to put it back, right? You're just going to shove it back in there?
because it's the wrong size.
All right. How about the colors? You want me to do them up or you're going to do them?
It's very, very difficult to do that with one hand.
There are different types of antifreeze. So antifreeze without alcohol, without the ethanol, is better for fittings. And the rating of -50 is a rating for copper tubes, but boats have plastic tubes, so the rating would be more similar to -20 degrees Celsius. It can sometimes get below that, so we started to worry, especially with dilution into the water tanks, that perhaps we needed to add a little bit more propylene glycol. We bought a higher rated brand, also a different color, so we could watch it come through the system. With this new propylene glycol, we just put it in the water tanks, opened the taps and ran it through the systems, which was fast. And we also redid the air conditioners, which are sensitive to freezing. It was easier to do the air conditioners the second time round, and after letting the new fluid go through the heat exchangers, Pierre reconnected the pipe, opened the through hull, so what was in the tubes drained out as part of gravity. After running more glycol through the inside of the boat, one last check outside to make sure the air conditioners had been done properly.
Yeah.
Was winterized because it was either full of glycol or air. On other boats that we winterized, any holes not plugged could have wasp nests or bird nests in the spring, so we plugged all holes.
All right, lock that up.
In inside, part of that is because we haven't winterized a boat in a long while. I would probably have started by draining the hot water tank and connecting the hot and cold at the water tank input.
As the first thing rather than
as
the
a
second
first thing. Then we can just fill up the reservoirs and with like 15-20 gallons, 15 gallons per side, and then do the whole boat very quickly. Both sides, hot and cold at the same time, without having to mess with it as we did for a while.